Ladies and gentlemen, we have figured it out. BMW E46 drift car setup. Let's get into it. The very first drift mod for any E46 is a welded diff. However, not any welded diff. You want a 346 gear ratio. This comes in an automatic 325i, and we find these all day long in the junkyard. We'll go snag an automatic diff, come home, weld it, and throw it into our manual chassis. And what this does is it allows your gearing to be a lot shorter and keeps your car in the power band, because these BMWs don't have much power to start with, so you gotta maximize every little bit. This also ties along with tire size. We like to run a 17-inch tire and wheel if we can. It keeps the ratio even shorter, but of course, this depends on the track. The second best drift mod for any E46 is a set of BC Racing coilovers. These things are fantastic for the money. Right off the shelf, you throw them on the car, they're ready to rock. Also, don't forget the condor reinforcement plates. Those are a must for the rear strut towers. And the key is to set the chassis up first before you add your drift mods. With these coilovers, we never slam our cars to the ground because our main goal is to get these cars to drift very, very well. So we keep them at a reasonable ride height. We try to make them look as good as we can, but our number one goal is to build a good drift car. A little bonus tip I want to mention is running high PSI in your rear tires. We usually run anywhere between 30 and 60 PSI in our rear tires depending on the track and what gear we're in. It also depends on what size tire we run. We try to stay smaller the better with these E46s. We're really not looking for ultimate grip. We've run anywhere from a 215 to a 265. It just kind of depends, and you have to play around with PSI. Obviously, the bigger the tire, the more PSI you'll have to run to keep the car loose and drifting good. Now it is time to break out the eBay parts. Max Peating rods coming out. E46 camber arms are a must-have. Once you get the coilovers on and the car drifting well, you're going to notice the tire wear is not very good because there's a lot of camber in the car. And these camber arms allow you to correct for that camber and keep your tire wear good and even. And just like that, we have her all wrapped up. Got everything. Coming in at number 3 is a hydro handbrake. Now, we love ASD hydro handbrakes with a chase bays set of lines with a stock dual caliper on the rear. And then there's a guy on eBay that actually makes a bolt-on bracket for an E46. It's very inexpensive, and it's a great way to add a dual caliper without running the weld-on kits that kind of get a little finicky. And we also run a Drift HQ hydro handle mount. We kind of just try to make it as clean as possible and try to cut very little interior out to keep the stock look. I have a full playlist of my E46 drift car. I'll link it down below in the top right hand corner, so make sure to go check that out as well. Pretty pleased with how it came out. Works pretty good. The E46 really shines with a budget angle mod. This involves the CNC 71 angle spacer, cutting your stock tie rods, and then adding a condor offset lollipop bushing or lower control arm bushing to add just a little bit of caster to the setup to give you so much better self-steer. We definitely recommend those as well. So it's only 3 components: the spacer, cutting your tie rods, and then adding that bushing. I'll leave links to all these parts down in the description. I think this mod cost us maybe $200 or $300. We even got new tie rods to make it even easier, which I would definitely recommend. All right, it is time to move on to the fun stuff. Just kidding. It's actually the reinforcing of the chassis. E46s unfortunately have a big issue with the subframe where it mounts to the chassis actually tearing out. So we went ahead and put in the condor reinforcement plates along with condor subframe bushings as well. We also run the transmission mounts. Those are definitely key. The transmission mounts rip even before the engine mounts do. So we throw a good set of solid transmission mounts and even potentially the motor mounts. We haven't done it yet, but it's definitely on our list to do. And there you have the BMW E46 drift car essential setup. Now this is a very baseline and budget friendly way to get your E46 drifting properly. There are countless times to go to the track and see these E46s not set up properly, and man, once you get it set up, it drifts so much better. And the most important thing is to have a good time. Me and my buddies, we set our cars up exactly the same, so that way we can go out and get the best quality tandems as possible and have an absolute blast through the day. If you guys think I'm missing something, make sure to drop it down in the comments below. Go read some of those comments. A lot of people have some great advice down there. This is kind of just a baseline essentials. If you guys like this video, let me know down in the comments. I can definitely do another one, taking it a step further and making it an even better drift car. Sit back, relax. For the next 2 minutes, I put together our best drift moments of our E46s. Me and Andy have twin E46s. This video is to kind of give you a little bit of inspiration and encouragement to go out, set your E46 up, and head out to your next track day. So I'm going to leave you guys off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to stick around for the next 2 minutes and watch all of our action shots. I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure to scroll down in the comments, read all those, give the thumbs up. I'll see you guys next video. She looks nice though, I'm not gonna lie.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Hey, coming down like precipitation.